log, stardate 7414.1. Our best estimates place us some 4 hours from Earth.
Thank you, Thomas Potts, for the $1.99 super chat. What lies in the shadow of the statue? I don't know what we're talking about. Was it a picture I took? However, I've decided I am not going to start the stream until everybody apologizes to Frank Sinatra. If there's no apologies to Frank Sinatra, I'm not going to start the stream. It's just how it's going to be. What's that, Bob? No, they'll apologize. What are you talking? Yeah, they'll apologize. They want me to apologize. They want me to start streaming. They're not going to leave. They're pretending like they can't hear me. I don't see any apologies. Nobody's apologized yet. Carlo doesn't apologize for good music. Well, I'm not saying that you have to apologize if you think Freddie Mercury is better than Frank Sinatra. That's an opinion. People need to apologize for the terrible things they've been saying about Frank Sinatra. You guys, you know who you are. Trek 95 says, I said nothing about him, but I am sorry. And Joseph Petrick is sorry for Frank Sinatra in a €2 super chat.
Live long and prosper.
Thank you, Joseph Patrick, for the €2 super chat. But Trek 95, thank you, Trek 95. You have taken it and you have apologized for the sins of the others. So Trek 95 is the savior of this stream. Thank you, Trek 95. Everybody else who comes here owes you a gratitude, a debt. They owe you a debt. Thomas Potts is saying Anti-Trekker is behind it. Well, I know Anti-Trekker is behind it. Anti-Trekker is behind all the bad, terrible, evil plots of the world. But he had help. He had help. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Joseph Patrick was early, saying, I won the first comment and the first like. Thank you, Joseph Patrick, but no contest today for a laptop. However, if anybody's interested in the chance of winning a very cool video editing laptop, check out yesterday's live stream. I put the link to the contest in a comment in that stream. Thomas Bott says hi. Joseph Patrick says hey. Carlo Albanese says hiya. Not Ryan Johnson says hello in Qapla. Hello in Qapla. Not Ryan Johnson says as long as Thomas Potts isn't first, it's all good. Thomas Potts puts in his $1.99 super chat about the shadow of the statue. Thank you again. Carlos just got home and bam, Bird of Prey 5 comes on. Perfect timing and perfect night. Oh, well, thank you, Carlo. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. I was just listening to Dear Bop. Oh, well, I'm sorry to interrupt you. This stream, heads up, I've got about an hour. So I didn't think it was quite enough time to get in a Cities Skylines stream. So we're just going to do a jar life. I want to thank everybody who's been asking about Grandma O'Prey in Anti-Trekker's chat and my Discord and everywhere else. I spoke with her after the stream yesterday. She's Grandma O'Prey's 94 years old. She had a very, very long life. For the vast, vast majority of that life, she was up, active, and all there. She's still all there. She worked. She had a job till she was 88 years old as an assistant to a provost of a university here in New York City. So it wasn't like it wasn't just a job like somebody goes and hangs out at a store. I'm not saying that store work isn't easy work. I know it's not. But it wasn't like some guy just going to a store that's got, 10 employees that do the hard work and he just sits there and feels useful. But she was actually having to type documents. She was still learning word shortcuts, right up into her 80s. I mean, she was always learning the latest version of Microsoft Word because she needed it for work. She was up there working, one of the oldest people at that university, if not the oldest, probably still actively working when she did finally retire. And she's had a very, very good life. I hope she still has a very long life to go, but she has some issues. We'll see. She has a doctor's appointment tomorrow. My cousin was there, my uncle was there, my aunt's there. Sister O'Prey is going to try to go visit her tomorrow. Sister O'Prey is in the process of moving, and she has some medical things going on herself, but she's going to try to get there tomorrow. And listen, we're all here for her. Whatever can be done, we're doing. But she also, I don't think she's going to fight hard at this point. Her husband passed away in the 90s, 94. And her son, my dad, passed away in 2011. She's finally seen, my cousin Dibs, finally, was the first one of us to give her a great-grandchild. Because I didn't have kids, Sister O'Prey didn't have kids, and my other cousins, they don't look like they're having kids anytime soon. So I don't know if she waited specifically for a great-grandchild, but Dibs finally was the one to give her one, and so that was nice. I think she's probably, I don't think she's gonna fight hard if there's a problem. That's what worries me. A lot of other people in the family, I know they would fight I know they feel there's still more to be done, or they're not ready to go yet. But Grandma, I think she might be. We'll see. It could be years from now. Well, we don't know. I just hope whatever happens, she doesn't suffer. John Street says, Bird, how is it your fan story of Freddie and Mercury? How is it your fan story of Freddie and Mercury wedding coming along? I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Carlo says, is that what word I think it is? Yes. I don't know why you said that's fantastic. It is, I agree, but I don't know that I need to repeat it. Joseph says, I have the feeling that Thomas is working in a data center on the fiber optic backbone of the whole interwebs. It's very possible. Carlo says Kirk agrees. I'm sure he does. John Street says black screen. Yes. I was holding you guys hostage for an apology. Track 95 says Qapla and down with Karoga. Well, you did apologize, Track 95. And I asked if anybody could hear me because nobody was apologizing. Cinnabon Bunny says hello. Then Carlos says he doesn't apologize for good music. Trek 95 finally apologized. Thank you again, Trek 95. Joseph Patrick put in his €2 super chat. And John Araki with a $99 super chat. Thank you, John Araki. And I've also, just a heads up, if anybody does donate via Streamlabs, I have found the page that lets me see whatever comment you made. So I will no longer miss the comment if I forget to read it from Streamlabs. I can now bring up the comment very easily and read it. So I know in the past, if you commented on Streamlabs, there was a pretty good chance I didn't read it because I honestly didn't know how to find the comments. They would show up on the screen often when I didn't have that window active, so I couldn't see what people were saying until I'd read it on the YouTube screen. And by then, because of how small I keep the YouTube screen, it was hard to read. But now we won't have that issue. So don't hesitate to put in long comments in Streamlabs. Treg95 says, I said nothing about him, but I am sorry. Thank you. Mike Richards says, I was only halfway through, dear Bob, but what the hell? I'll apologize just on general principles. Oh, thank you, Mike Richards. And then Thomas told us Anti-Trigger was behind it. Josh reads says, okay, grab the pitchforks and torches, then not burn down Karoga. Okay, grab the pitchforks and torches, then not burn down Karoga. Sure. Carlos says, I mean, Frank, why did you presume Freddy was better? Frank, why did you presume Freddy was better? Well, because you said it. You said Freddy. I think you did. Because if you were on Frank's side, you didn't need to apologize. Joseph says, Bird of Prey, based on the title, there will be some hard drilling. Hard drilling? One cavity only. Yeah, so the dentist came today, and after 10 years of... John Araki with a $1 super chat. Thank you, John Araki. So dentist came today. No Dax. The dentist came today, and after 10 years of not going to the dentist, he looks in my mouth. He says, well, I see you haven't had much dentist work. He didn't find any fillings. I thought I had a filling. I said, maybe the filling came out. He said, no, there was never a filling. I said, okay. I mean, he's the expert, right? He did. Anyway. He did x-rays. He's got to wait for the x-rays. But in looking in my mouth, he could only see one cavity. So one cavity after 10 years of not going to the dentist isn't too bad. I can't complain if that's it. And the tooth with the cavity is the one tooth that has the slight ache. So he suspects that's probably the issue. Unfortunately, it'll probably be another week before he gets back here to do anything about it, because today apparently was just an examination and x-rays. He'll have to come back to actually do any work on the mouth, and he's got to speak to my doctor for some reason that I don't like that they have to, I got to get clearance from your doctor. Why do you get clearance from my doctor? If I wasn't disabled, you wouldn't be getting clearance from my doctor. I just went to the dentist. Dentist did the work. They didn't ask about what doctor I had. They didn't ask for my doctor's phone number. It's bullcrap, but whatever. So hopefully, maybe next week, he can do whatever he has to do. And, it was interesting. I had to turn my head to some extreme angles so he could see in. I mean, he wears a light on his head so he can, like a miner. He has the big light on the middle of his forehead so he can see in the mouth. It was an experience, home dentistry. Not something I've ever really thought about before. So anyway, that's the title. One cavity. I guess there will be some drilling, I suppose, at some point. Mike Richards says, where lies the shadow of the statue? Darkness. What lies in the shadow of the statue? Darkness. Yes. Mom O'Prey saying yes. Thomas is asking if everything works at the Kuroga base. No, nothing. Nothing was working at the Kuroga base. To be honest, I had to redo everything. I mean, granted, it was set up very nicely, but we had zero access to everything. So I had to grind everything down to the line and then grind it back so we had access. And my biggest problem now at the Kuroga base is that every time I build hydrogen and oxygen bottles in an assembler, they get sucked away to an hydrogen-oxygen generator that I can't find. Or tank, something. I don't know where they go. Because the hydrogen-oxygen generator on the wall that says H2 and O2 bottles, it's empty. It's only got ice in it. So I build the tanks, and I see them go, and I looked in the inventory system. They're going to an H2O2 generator, but the only H2O2 generator I can find in the entire base is that one in the wall. So I have no idea. I tried to follow the pipes using admin mode, using spectator mode so I could see where the conveyor ports go. But I followed them. I can't find out where the hell is this phantom H2O2 generator that these bottles are going into. Also, Azine is claiming, and I don't know what the deal is, but Azine says when you try to go into space, you die before you leave the gravity well. Which means that if the universe is so small, you can't get out of the gravity well of the planet, he suspects there might not be any uranium or platinum asteroids. Because he's only seen uranium and platinum in zero-G asteroids. He hasn't seen them in low-G asteroids. However, back when the game was new, I spawned in a space pod a few times, and I was clearly in zero-G. I was quite a distance from the planet. I forgot all about the fact that the world is only 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers, whatever anti-tracker picked. So I don't know if maybe the planet is not at the center of the galaxy. Maybe one side of the planet is a lot closer to the edge of the universe. Or maybe being in a space pod extends the universe. I don't know the details, but I had no way of getting up to space yet. So I couldn't test it myself. Sister O'Prey, but Mom O'Prey picked it up. So we still have some figuring out to do at the base. Trek 95 says Bird of Prey, they all owe you a super chat. Yes. Thomas Potts says 94, wow. Did see no anti-trekker, he was 45 years old. Did see no anti-trekker. Did she know anti-trekker when he was 45 years old? Did Grandma O'Prey know anti-trekker when he was 45 years old? I seriously doubt it. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Qapla. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey had a very funny Twitter joke today. But I'm not going to repeat it. Sounds like she's had a good full life. She has, Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Joseph Patrick says, send her my greetings and Kurogan orphans. Uncle Remus, who's sick? My grandmother. Azine says, evening bird, Mom O'Prey, Sassy, and fellow nerds. Good evening, Azine. Thomas Potts says, only my mother's side. Several males died in their 40s. So my great uncle promised to make it past that. He died a few months after his 100th. birthday. Frickin' amazing. Assuming he had a decent life. If you can live to 100 and still be walking, God bless you. Not Ryan Johnson. I'm sorry, Bird. The Frank Sinatra only wrote one song. That Frank Sinatra only wrote one song and was famous off other people's hard work. Oh, John Aragi didn't just put in a super chat. He put in a sticker or an emoji. He put in a big poop emoji. Oh, thank you, I guess. Probably something Anti-Tricker would prefer, but thank you, John Araki. I missed that. That's cool. I didn't even know that was possible. Chief Cook says, hi, Bird. Qapla, Chief Cook. John Araki says, why is there no alpaca super sticker option? I didn't even know super stickers were a thing for me yet. I thought you had to have more subscribers to get super stickers. Very cool. Mr. Miles says, Qapla, Mr. Miles. Excuse me, not Mr. Miles. Mr. Londell's groovy movie, says Qapla, Mr. Londell. My bad. Track 95 says, I need to check out Dear Bop. Yes, check out Dear Bop at birdoprey5.com. Click on the Dear Bop link, and I will get to it as soon as I can. Monday and Friday live streams for sure. I try to do it, and a couple times during the week, I also try to do some dedicated videos, because I'll be honest, the Dear Bops, they start to pile up. Like today's video was an hour long. I really would prefer it to be half that length. I did not realize we had 18 different Dear Bops, and that's just since what, Friday I must have did it last, or Saturday. It's crazy. But hey, there's a lot of people who need help out there. John Araki then puts in a $1 super chat, I guess. Thank you again, John Araki. Not Ryan Johnson says, hashtag alpaca life. John Street says, Bird, when did Riot become not? Did I misread Riot as not? I'll be honest. I don't know. From my angle, they're not that different. My apologies. Let's see. What did you see, Josh Street? What did you post that I misread? Assuming it was your post. Or grab the pitchforks and torches, then not. Oh, geez, I did it again. Okay, grab the pitchforks and torches, then riot, burn down Karoga. Okay, we see if you're missing some punctuation at the minimum. That's not a complete sentence, so I guess my brain just jumped in and tried to make it make more sense. Grab the pitchforks and torches, then riot, and it's also the wrong then, but who's counting? And burn down Karoga. So that was the problem. No biggie, my bad. Makes a bit more sense with riot. Where are we? Carlos says, I think the dentist gave him something. I hope not. Josh Street says, John Araki, Bird took out Kissing Dax and didn't tell you so he could get money from you. I did not take out Kissing Dax. It's still in there. It's still in the rotation. However, yesterday's bed live stream was monetized by CBS. John Araki with another $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, John Araki. Unfortunately, the price of the super chat doesn't increase the chance of it being Dax. I wish there was a way to do that. Like a $10 chat guaranteed Dax, a $5 chat was like 50-50, and like a $2 chat was maybe 1 in 10, and the dollar chat was the 1 in 30 that it is. But yeah, CBS decided to claim my video. Now, what's amazing about CBS claiming the video from yesterday, it's the first time in history that I know of that when CBS detected CBS content, they chose to monetize the video instead of block it worldwide, which honestly isn't that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, it's kind of bullcrap that they're going to get all the ad revenue from a 2-hour video or an hour and a half video, even despite it was 30 seconds of footage that I used. However, that, dollar in ad revenue, it's probably more like 50 cents in ad revenue that video could possibly make over the next 2 years, isn't going to make a damn bit of difference. I don't really care about that. But what does bother me is that in addition to claiming the ad revenue, for reasons I cannot begin to fathom, CBS blocked it on mobile devices only. They blocked it on mobile devices. It's fine to watch if you watch it on a computer, but if you're watching it on a mobile device, then it's going to come up as a blocked video. I have no idea what CBS was doing. Maybe they have an intern doing it and the intern messed up. I don't know. I'm not going to ask questions. But for right now, if you want to rewatch yesterday's live stream, you're going to have to do it on an actual computer. You can't do it on a mobile device. John Araki is saying Josh Street he's unsubbed. Carlos says checking with your doctor to make sure your medication won't react to anything he might have to give you. Better safe than sorry, I suppose. But I mean, I was on medications my whole life for various things. Nobody ever checked with the doctors. Chris M. Collecting says denture life. I don't think we're at that point yet. Track 95 is suspect they're going to you know where. Azine says have not tested that yet. Was just thinking if the world's only 100k wide in total, it's even possible to get into space. Oh, I thought you said you did it. Yeah, no, I've been in space because before the game round started, I spawned in as a space pod a few times, and there are definitely asteroids in 0G. I don't think the world is 100k. I think Anti-Trekker chose a smaller planet size. Like maybe he chose a 50k planet and a 100k world. I'm just guessing. I didn't notice the actual settings he chose. Thomas is Chris M. Bird can't find his O2 bottles. Yeah, and I'll be honest. I adminned in the O2 bottles and H2 bottles that I can't find. Once I find them, I'll delete them, but I had to admin in bottles because there was nothing else we could do without having H2O2 bottles. Afternoon, Bird will Pray 5 says Captain MKG. I was just walking around and catching up on house chores. I'll put some timestamps into the latest Dear Bop ASAP. Oh, thank you, Captain MKG. That's very cool of you. Trek 95 puts in the poop emoji. Azine says, by the way, lots of bottles in the generator near the door. Well, that's the ones I adminned in. I had made a bunch before, but they've got sucked up to some other generator. I don't know where they went. Trek 95 says no one should burn down Karoga. The other issue I'm having is I really don't want to see Turdistan's inventory. When I go to the inventory system, I don't think there's going to be any way to block the inventory from Turdistan, which is going to be kind of annoying. because we're all in the same grid. We're all in the same building. So it's going to show us everybody's stuff. I'm wondering if there isn't some way of just putting like a 1 block breakpoint somewhere in the long hallway so that each base is actually a separate building from the central building. Of course, we'd have to put separate power to each of them then. But that's the only way I can think of that we won't have to deal with seeing each other's inventories. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Thank you so much. A €2 super chat. CBS can smooch my large hairy foot. I'm sure they will. Thank you, Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. That will be the ultimate punishment when we drive the powers from CBS out of their buildings. We will make them smooch your foot. That will be the punishment. Trek 95 says no one should burn down Kuroga. I agree. And then John Aragi put in another $1.99 super sticker with a red hand and a finger pointing up. Or is that number 1? I'm not sure what that signifies. Let's see. If I mouse over it, does it say anything? No, it doesn't. I'm bad at emoji. I'll be honest. Emoji is like a foreign language that I have a block to. Trek 95 says condemn in. Yes. No one should burn down Kuroga. Condemn it. Yes. Trek. Uncle Remus's best wishes to your grandmother. My grandparents passed a number of years ago, and I miss and think of them all the time, and I wish they were still around. You know, Uncle Remus, it's my mother's parents were both passed before I was ever born. My mom's mom died when she was very young, and her father died when her and Dad O'Prey were still dating. The only grandparents I ever knew were on my father's side, and they seemed both in relatively decent condition, but one day, at a relatively young age, my grandfather ended up having an aortic aneurysm rupture. And although it didn't kill him immediately, he ended up in the hospital, and we transferred him to what we hoped was a better hospital. But infection set in and kind of had a similar thing to what I had, except he never got better. And he ended up passing some months after the aneurysm from complications. And then Grandma O'Prey was, alive, and she didn't live alone. Her daughter and and grandson. Yeah, her daughter and grandson lived with her. The grandson that now gave her a great-grandson, a granddaughter, Dibs, had lived with them, and then Dibs moved out when he got married. So the daughter still lives with her. So she's never been alone, but she's her husband's been gone a long time, and when Dad O'Prey passed, that was very hard on her too. And I was thinking today, how cool would it be to just talk to her and ask her? I don't know what she remembers, because in the last few years her memory has started deteriorating. But just how cool would it be to hear stories? I mean, she was born in 1925, right? That was the roaring 20s. She was born at a very optimistic time in the country. And she grew up as a kid in the 30s during the Depression. I mean, I never asked her stories about her childhood. I never asked her, what was your life like? What was your family like? What did you guys, were you well-to-do? Were you guys poor? I mean, they lived in the city. They weren't out in rural country. But I don't know. I never asked her these things. I mean, it would be so cool. Just get... I don't know what she remembers now or what she would have even remembered a week ago. But 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I bet she would have remembered most of it. What was your life like? What was the things you did? What have been the biggest changes you've seen? What surprises you the most? Right? What surprises you the most when you get up and you think, Jesus, I never thought I'd ever see this. What is this? So many questions. And you don't think to even ask them, unfortunately, until it's too late. So if you do have grandparents alive, or anybody you know, parents, yes, even if you have older parents, or anybody, even if they're not your family, but a friend or something, Jesus, sit them down, and if they don't mind talking about it. Like, I did ask my uncle once, her brother, about World War II, and he did not want to talk about it. So, yeah, I understood that. Now, my grandfather, he didn't mind talking about World War II, but unfortunately he passed, so I never got to hear, I suppose, the best of the best stories. I was just too young. But my uncle, whose grandma's brother is still alive, and I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago, I asked him about some war stuff, because he was in the Pacific, where grandfather was in Europe, and he did not. He just kind of shut it down. He didn't want to talk about the war, which I totally get. But I'd be really interested to know what my grandmother thought about what she was seeing on her side. She didn't fight in the war, as women didn't, but she had 5 brothers, so all these things. I mean, just so crazy. And I never thought to ask. I don't know if I'll ever get the chance now. Carlos says, I miss Quiroga. Not been there. It's the same since the Turds destroyed our home. We will take over Turdistan and claim it as our own this round. Except Carlo, we both have a safe zone. We both have a safe zone protecting our main starting base. However, I think we need to rule the planet. I think the Turds probably got used to their shields and their lasers and their impulse engines. And I think Kurogans never lost that drive for hydrogen-powered ships, for ion-powered ships, and atmospheric thrusters. I think we have a real chance to kick ass now that we're on a stock version of the game. Joseph Patrick, I would ask for a quid pro quo. Take ad revenue, give me all access for free. I don't think they're gonna do that. Carlos says, CBS have given you a chance. Yeah, it's weird. Joseph Patrick Bird of Prey, I can watch the stream on my phone. I just checked. Well, that's really weird, because it says blocked on mobile devices, according to YouTube. Trek, I'm glad, though. I'm glad you can. Trek 95 says, I think Anti-Trekker took them. Lol. No, he didn't take the oxygen bottles. They're there. They're showing in the conveyor system. I just can't find them. Trek 95 is lolling. Thomas is calling me a cheater, of course. Of course. And then the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkeys. €2 super chat. Thank you again. Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. I just like saying that name. The Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey. Yeah, I mean, it's a great name. It's a great name. Miss Londell says, if CBS had a brain, they'd some kind of silly little YouTube license and split any profit from content you might use on your channel. They get a few bucks in free advertising. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Lundell's Groovy Movies says issue. Life with Matthew says Qapla, Birdo Prey 5, and all from the road. Qapla, Life with Matthew. Mr. Lundell says both sets of my grandparents lived through the Depression, WW2. I always heard stories from then when I was a kid. Oh, that's cool, Mr. Lundell. I'm a little jealous. Trek 95 says, who would want to rule the land? Who would want to rule Turd Land? That's true. That's true. I think if we ever rule Turd Land, we'll clean it up. It's quite smelly. Thomas Bott says, Kurogans hid in safe zones. They aren't ready for open area. Sure. John Araki says, breaking news. Kuroga breaks ground on new city. Supreme leader names it Al-Pakistan. Carlo says, I can try my old ships to see if they are still good with all the updates. Yeah, we could. I mean, I'm going back to some tried and tested designs as soon as I get make sure that everything's working. Mr. Miles says, first, welcome, Mr. Miles. Uncle Remus is a week from today. Star Wars Mandalorian premieres. Are you getting Disney Plus, Bird? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Here's the deal. I'm still pissed. If I was happy with The Simpsons, I would probably get Disney Plus just for The Simpsons. However, The Simpsons are liars. Their producers or whoever the hell they are, they lied to us. They told us that Apu was not removed from the show. So I've been patiently waiting, not watching live like I used to, but watching a few days later to see when is Apu going to return to the show. Well, this past Sunday, they did an episode where Homer bought a boat, and Homer sold shares in his boat to everyone in the town. And there was one scene where everyone in town was in the boat. The doctor, comic book guy, Mo, lots of little characters. The Asian woman who's the real estate person, the sideshow Mel. Everybody in town was on the boat, except Mr. Burns and Smithers, because they had their own thing going on, and except Apu. There was no Apu, there was no his wife, there was no 8 children. So if you're going to tell me that everybody on that they put in that boat, they didn't put Apu, bullshit. Apu would have been in that scene had they not been holding back on Apu. So I am still angry at Disney, I guess, now for this whole Apu crap. So I don't think I'm going to get Disney Plus. That said, I already have Hulu. I thought I heard somewhere that they're going to offer a Hulu plus Disney package for like $1 or $2 more than what we pay for Hulu. If that's the case, then maybe I would get it. However, to be particularly honest, I was not planning on watching The Mandalorian. I really don't care about Star Wars much anymore. I don't know. I was never the biggest Star Wars fan. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I loved the first 3 movies. I was okay with the second 3. And then these last ones, obviously, I realized they were crap like everybody else almost. At this point, I don't think I could care less about Star Wars. To me, they were great movies. They were like the Back to the Future trilogy. I don't ever want to see Back to the Future trilogy messed with. They might. They were like the original Ghostbusters. God forbid, 2016. It's almost the same thing they did to Ghostbusters. I see Star Wars as classic movies that I don't want to see updated. I don't want to see more iterations in the Star Wars universe. I know for the last 40 years there's been the entire extended universe and cartoons and other shows going on and video games and a whole bunch, and it's this giant world that's billions and billions of dollars, and there's these super fans that have been watching everything. Well, that's not me. I only cared about the original movies. It's actually a lot like Anti-Trekker, I guess. I never got into anything extended universe, and at this point, I don't want to get into anything extended universe. I hope that doesn't upset people, because I know there's a lot of Star Wars fans here, but it's just not my thing. And, I mean, if I got Disney Plus, would I ever watch The Mandalorian? Maybe. But I wouldn't. I have no great desire to. And I've got other things to watch right now. Better things. I mean, when The Expanse comes on, I can't wait for that. We're still a long ways out from Orville, which is going to be a problem, but I can't wait for that. Where are we? Mr. Miles has come in. Uncle Remus is a week from... it's The Mandalorian. That's where he was. A week from today, The Mandalorian. Shronmore says Quantum and Atomic first. Welcome, Shronmore. Greetings, Birdo Prey 5, Mamo Prey 5, and fellow nerds. Greetings, Shronmore. Joseph Patrick says, I'm getting Jack Sparrow, since D Plus will be available only in spring here. Okay. Only in spring? I mean, you mean first time in spring? Or are they going to shut it off during the rest of the year? Because when you say only in spring, I kind of think like, it's only going to be available in the spring times. Shromor says, in greetings to Sassy, Pooh Bear, Chaser of Cats, Eater of Cookies, Stalker of Cardinals, the Filer of Cushions, and Scourge of the Squirrels. Oh, that's not Pooh Bear. That's supposed to be a doggy face. Oh, well, that makes more sense. Thank you, Shronmore. John and Rocky, hashtag free Apu indeed. Thomas says, how much lag is you Kurogan playing to cause with every Kurogan having 5 ships per person? I don't know that that's going to be true. Yosef says, how could I forget it? Hi, Mom. Hi, Joe. Mamo Pray, Sassy, and the Flock. Thank you, Yosef. Hello. Uncle Remus says, I think Disney Plus is like $7 a month. Watch Star Wars and cancel until something else comes on that you want to watch. Well, for $7 a month, flat out, I'm just not going to get it. I already have every Simpsons episode saved to my hard drive locally. Not on this computer, but on network storage. I don't need to have their service. That said, when every Simpsons was on the FX app, I used to watch it through the FX app, so at least they'd get commercials out of me. But they decided to scrap the FX app. They took The Simpsons off of it, and that was like a couple of months before all the bullshit started happening with Apu. So I never went back to it. I said, F it. There's nothing to go back to. They pulled it off of FX app because now they're going to make it part of Disney. So instead of getting it for free with the cable subscription I already paid for, now they want me to pay additional. F that. Joseph Patrick, they were on the roof of a train. Uncle Remus says, I watched the Simpsons episode last night. Apu has been retired. Yeah. They don't say, they claim he hasn't, but he has. Mr. Miles says, I can edit for Apu. That's not the right Apu. Hungarimus says Apu crap was before Disney merger. Yeah, well, it started before Disney. But they were already in talks. They were already in talks, and they knew where it was going. Darren Wagner says, what's up, Bird? Did you see the video where Anti-Tracker claims there was never such a thing as a Klingon bird of prey? I know, I was just as surprised as you. I did not see that video. I did see you uploaded a video, Darren. It is still in my email because I'm still intending to watch it, but I have not yet watched it. If that's the video, I'll take a look at it soon, hopefully. Joseph says, Mr. Lundell, please remove the comment. It can cause problems. So that's why something got removed. Shromore says, one of my grandfathers fought in the Irish War of Independence and the following Civil War. He died when I was 2, so I don't remember much. Well, that's sad, Shromore. But you remember something. That's better than nothing. Ozzy NF says, Bird of Prey, how are things? It's been a mixed bag, Ozzy. It's been a mixed bag. Joseph Patrick says, Mr. Lundell, that one P word, YouTube is crazy about it. Oh. If it's the P word I'm thinking about that has something to do with a certain Epstein, then yeah, don't put in that P word. Put in Nazi all you want, but don't put in that P word. Joseph says, in the spring is actual English, like it comes in spring, not earlier. Understood. So it starts in the spring. Mike Richards says, 2 friends and I drove 70 miles to see the first Star Wars in 1977, and it was totally worth it. I have no intention of watching the sequel thingy. Very sad. Yeah. Mr. Miles says, what P word? The P word, when an adult, loves a child like a man loves a Jeep. No? That's true. No, not like a man loves a Jeep. But when a man loves in an inappropriate way. No, Thomas isn't here, I don't think. He was here earlier. I don't think he's going to write that down. Uncle Remus says, it's really a bunch of garbage about Apu. The show treated his character with respect. They didn't belittle his character on the show. People need to get a thicker skin and not be so easily offended. Absolutely, Uncle Remus. And that frickin' so-called comedian who has a hack, who had no career, nobody knew the fuck his name was before he made the so-called documentary because he brought up Apu, because he made his whole career off of being offended by Apu. He should be the most ashamed. The most ashamed. I didn't know his name before. I don't know his name anymore. I knew his name for a short time, but F it, he's not even worth knowing his name. His entire career, his only claim to fame is being the only person in the world apparently ever offended by Apu, because when he was a kid, people picked on him and called him Apu. Guess what? If Apu didn't exist, they would have called you an F word that you probably don't like to be called, whether you're an F word or not. So you got off lucky by them calling you Apu. There was many worse things they could have called you. Bastard. Uncle Remus, Mr. Miles says, oh, John Araki says P word equal Michael Jackson. That has not been proven, John Araki. Actor says, or Catholic priest. Possibly. Some. There's some bad apples. Joseph Patrick says, Bird of Prey. The sentence about P and the Jeep will be gold on the anti-tracker stream once he gets his editing software on it. Nobody's going to tell him, Yosef. Uncle Remus is Popeye. Tiki of Doom. Welcome, Tiki. Is lolling. And Mr. Miles' Bird of Prey. Does it rhyme with audiophile? Yes. Yes. Yes, it does. There's... Or Jeep file. No, Jeep file is not a word. It should be, but it's more like, let's see. Whatever Latin for like 4x4, outdoors something would be. Off-road. A Frank Sinatra file? I could see that. Anyway, while we're adding files onto the end of common words, I think we will call it a stream. I apologize, it's a relatively short stream today, but I do have to eat dinner and then I got physical therapy. So, and then after that, I will try to get back into the Space Engineers game and hopefully get it working a little better. And we'll see from there. So thank you guys. Have a good day. Thank you all for coming. Sassy's going up. Do remember to check out the Dear Bop videos if you want advice. And if you have any question that you need advice on, go to birdofprey5.com and click on Dear Bop and you can submit your anonymous questions. And yes, it really is anonymous. So if you think I have a way to track who you are, I do not. So if you put in something, I can't figure out who it is. If the things ever got too toxic, I would just shut it down. But they are anonymous. So if you have an actual issue, feel free to put something in. I will. I try to recognize the real issues. Like we had one real question. We had one real question in the batch of 18 today. It was about which computer to get. Qapla file. Yes, Qapla file, Yosef. Mike Richards says farewell from Columbus, Ohio. Mr. Miles says Tiki of Doom Da Vinci Resolve 16. Tiki asked, Mr. Miles, what's the name of the free editing program? Yes, Tiki of Doom. Tiki of Doom Da Vinci Resolve. Goodbye and Qapla says Actor. Tiki of Doom says Mr. Miles, thanks. Captain MKG says see ya, good night all, take care. Yosef says Bob and Greg are thankful. That's good to know, Yosef. Mr. Miles says no problem and good luck. It can be fun and a nightmare all at once, indeed. Track 95 says, Mr. Miles, did you get my message on YouTube? And Mr. Miles says no. And with that, guys, take care. Qapla. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out birdofprey5.com, the new home of everything Bird of Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/birdofprey5 or on birdofprey5.com. Take care.